There's this feeling I get after I say goodbye, like I messed it up and I didn't say what I wanted to say or like should have said, or I felt like I didn't care enough, or I didn't hold a hug long enough or tight enough. And over the years, I've come to realize that this is just the nature of goodbye, and you can never get enough air when you're drowning. So, hello. Rather than getting good at goodbyes, I aim instead to get good at letting go. It seems to be our default to think that an ending is bad or wrong, but I'm reminded of this surprisingly profound scene at the end of the Avengers movie where Vision confronts Ultron, and Ultron's sentiment is basically that humans are doomed and therefore should be destroyed or discarded because of their folly. And Vision replies, "Things are not beautiful just because they last." Implying that just because something's going to end or be destroyed or come to an end doesn't mean that it's not beautiful or shouldn't be protected or shouldn't be appreciated. And it's not necessarily a flaw that something is going to come to an end. And I like that, and I like that perspective, and I really think I missed that. And I think I tend to think like Ultron a lot of times, and maybe that's not the best way.
5-on-1. 5-11 tackle. Oh yeah. Slam. Come on. Whoa, Kevin! Woo!
So speaking of letting go, I decided to cut all my hair off. And with it, hopefully everything else that I've been holding on to that doesn't serve me. So if you know, you know. That whole mess might look pretty on your head, but you're just holding on to a part of you that's dead. Another exercise in letting go.
Miss you, but I hope you know I wish you the best. Wish I knew that I never get you out of my head. Didn't think that we found that I never give up. You caught in my falling, I'm whisper I'm done, and that I should call you miss you. Well, I hope you know I miss you the best.
I'm wondering about the relationship between loss and letting go. It's like loss is inevitable and letting go is accepting that. This spring, my grandma passed away, and the subsequent feeling and honestly lack of feeling was interesting to me. And when I got the news, the first thing I noticed was empathy for my mom, which was just quickly covered by like a blanket of numbness or like nothing kind of. And, you know, my grandma was old and she had a good life, and I think she was ready to die. And I remember saying that, like, it feels bad, but it feels natural. And the curious thing is that I had this dream before my grandma passed, and I was in the kitchen in her house. I'm going to put this on Do Not Disturb here. Her and I were in her kitchen just talking calmly, and I couldn't tell you what we were talking about or what was said, but nearby in the living room was an old friend of mine that was playing and singing this song on the ukulele. And when I woke up, I could remember the melody. So I went to my piano and worked out some of the chords and lyrics and recorded a quick video and then just went back to sleep. And months later when she passed, I found the video, and it sounds like, you know, letting go and moving on. And with the context of her death, it just became so meaningful, and the fact that I got it from a dream was just cool to me and interesting. So I'll just spread my wings, look for a brand new start, and tie new strings to what's left of my heavy heart.
You waste a smile, it's not too late. Forever's a long, long time to wait. Forever's a long, long time. It's a long, long time. Forever's a long, long time to wait.
So diving into that song and like actually trying to write it and record it and like make it into a finished song just ripped the blanket of numbness straight off me, and I was freezing. And it's amazing how music can be a doorway to things you didn't know you felt. Like this song began my actual process of grief, and I was like reminded about something that my dad told me. My dad is a chaplain for the Washington State Patrol, and part of that job is doing death notifications. So when it's like knocking on someone's door at midnight and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your daughter was killed in a car crash this evening," etc. He tells me that at that point, the way people react varies widely. So some people fall to the ground in hysteria, and some people go straight into denial, and some people literally go straight for a bottle and finish it. And whatever happens, you kind of have to just let it happen. And so that's what I'm doing here. But it's hard, and of late it's not getting easier, weirdly. This month before I go overseas, I've been staying with my grandpa, who's now living alone. And with that, I'm forced to confront the loss in a way that I didn't expect. It used to be that every time I left the house, my grandparents were on the porch waving and saying goodbye and I love you together. And at first I didn't notice that that wasn't happening, but now every time I leave the house, I do. And I look at all the photos covering the walls and find that my brain just hasn't been able to fully grasp the fact that she's gone. Like I just kind of expect her to be around. Oftentimes it's like followed by the urge to like break something fragile in a weird way. And I don't know why that is, but again, just letting go and getting my practice in, because I'm close with my grandpa and I know that eventually he's next, and then my parents, and so on. And life necessitates this skill. Let go, move on, let go, move on, again and again as it goes. Alright, so I'm coming to you from the edit right now. I'm putting together the video you're watching, and I'm roasted watching that slideshow. And I don't know if I covered it that well in the voiceover, but the thing that was interesting to me is like when my grandma died, I didn't cry. Like it's not like I didn't care, but it just didn't hit. And it's so crazy because literally I think the first time it probably really hurt to the point where I would cry was like working on that song, trying to write the lyrics, trying to work on it, and it just like just drew it out of me in an interesting way. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why it does that, but it's like this process of like reflection and creating, like even making this video, watching this slideshow and like reflecting on this is just, that's when I feel the pain, and I don't other than that, weirdly. And I don't know why that is. It's weird. I have to think about it some more. And I'm really not an emotional person. I'm not a crier. I generally, maybe I don't write enough songs. I don't know. It's weird. It's just an interesting phenomenon to me because I went months with like nothing. It's like grandma died, went for months relatively unaffected, and then I come across that video that I recorded after my dream, and I start trying to write it, and I I just die. And weird. But one of the reasons I love music, one of the reasons I love art and creating, brings that out of you. It's cool. I'm lucky. Anyways, back to the video. To look at it on the bright side, letting go means something new is coming. And for where I'm at in life at this point, that is an understatement. Next month, I'll be spending the remainder of the year in Thailand and Bali. And I've recently sold or thrown away most of my possessions and most of my clothes, leaving only a couple bins of sentimental items and the things I need to create what I feel compelled to create. And that's another exercise in letting go. So I seem to be on a roll here, and while my hands are relaxed, I'm going to take advantage of this loose grip and do something that I know I've needed to do for a long time, which is getting the hell off social media. So I'm done. And done with scrolling, done with comparison, done with the distraction, done with the pit in my stomach forced on me by an endless vertical feed of garbage, and I'm out. And not just social media, but basically all media. So podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, news, etc. I'm cutting it all off, and I'm going to focus on becoming someone that I can be proud of and developing virtue and bringing the things into this world that only I can and that I feel a responsibility to, and a responsibility that I've been abusing and neglecting for years now. And so for now into the foreseeable future, I'll be writing on Substack, making these type of long-form YouTube videos and focusing on the one crown jewel of experience, in my opinion, which is producing music. And if I'm going to film or document anything, it's going to be horizontal. And now I leave you with my modern adaptation of Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. It's this Bible verse about there being a time for different things, for planting, for harvesting, for living, for dying, etc. And I was reading it, and I wanted to kind of make my own version that is about social media and being online. And so here you go. There's a time for everything and a season for every turn of our new world. There's a time to gorge on the feed set out before you until your thumb is sore and your circuits dried up. And there's a time to thank the stars that your battery is empty and screen gone dark. There's a time to add your better moments to the endless tapestry of everyone else's and frame them in soft glass, sitting back to enjoy the fleeting validation doled out by what would be a stretch to call friends. And there's a time to find love for yourself and comfort in who you are all on your own. There's a time to breathe in the chaos of a world gone mad and inject yourself, emotion and all, into the thick mess that seems to be saying something about who you are and demanding how you should think. And there's a time to breathe out, let go, and give your scattered consciousness a rest in the sun. There's a time to measure yourself against a fabled ideal encased in mirror and reflecting brightly back onto your wealth of insecurity. And there's a time to let your path make its own self known, spelling out your identity in pure form as it twists and turns. There's a time to turn over every rock in sight in search of answers to questions you've been tricked into asking, going from stone to stone, getting dirt under your fingernails, illusioned by what are only wrinkles on a forehead. But there is a time to wash your hands and contemplate the sky for a change. There's a time to give everything and every part of you to the new gods, and a time to rage against them, beginning your long journey down the staircase leading from their electric temple to the valley below where the river runs, remembers you, and welcomes you back.
And then he usually comes out and he goes, "Good morning, Daniel." I say, "Hey, Grandpa."
When I start being me, if I gotta just choose my words more carefully. Yeah, I might give up when I discuss the things about me and why I don't trust. I'm still stuck trying to get out from the things that I got on my chest. Yeah, so I'ma make you all guess.
What's up? You made it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. It's kind of my first try doing this type of thing, but I enjoyed it and I plan on doing it more and getting better at it. I just wanted to come on here for the end of the video to share this new hoodie. Hold on. So this is my new Danny Suede hoodie. It's available on DannySuede.com. It says, "Life can be more of what you dream." And on the back, it says, "Boundaries are conventions, waiting to be transcended. One may transcend any convention if only one can first conceive of doing so." Which is a quote from my favorite book and story ever, which is Cloud Atlas. So I don't think legally I can have that on there, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And you know, if it blows up and I get sued, that's a good problem to have, I guess. So anyways, yeah, it's meant to inspire you. It's just meant to, I think that it reminds me of this story, real quick, of an elephant where when the elephant's young, they tie it to a tree and it tries to get away, but it can't because it's tied to a tree. But then eventually it just learns it can't get away. And once it grows up and it's a giant elephant, all they have to do is tie it to like a little stick or a pole in the ground. And it just thinks it can't get away and it doesn't try it because it knows when it's tied up, it can't get away. And I think that's, a lot of us are like that sometimes, or oftentimes in life, where we're just raised a certain way and we think the world works a certain way and we don't do what we can do if we just tried or could imagine that we could do that. When I say dreaming, that's what I mean. Like, life could be this way that I want. And a lot of people just have a limiting belief that it can't, but it really can. And that's something that I think of a lot and I want to share with people, and I would like more people to realize. So that's what the hoodie represents. And again, it's on DannySuede.com. There will be a link in the description, as well as my Substack, where I write about my life and my journey. And since I'm off social media, I'm gonna do like updates and stuff on there, photo dumps, and I'll just share what I'm listening to and what I'm reading and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and then ripping music on Spotify and everything. I'm about to take off to Thailand and Bali for the winter, and then when I get back, I'm going to Costa Rica, and then I don't know where after that. So we'll see. It's gonna be an adventure. I'm stoked. And thanks for coming along. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.